Hi, I'm Joyce,
And I'm Adriel.
and we are
Divinely
Divinely
Guided.
Guided. We hope you've had a great week. We hope you've taken some time to practice self care. We hope you are putting yourself somewhere near the top of your list. So, Adri, what have you done this week for self care?
Mm. What have I done for self care lately?
Connections with friends.
Well, yeah, I have done that. I've been meditating some.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing a little rollerblading, which I enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Got that good hobby plus physical activity.
It's a hobby plus it's physical activity plus it gives me something to work towards because I'm slowly getting better and I really like having a goal.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Mm-hmm.
And it gives me time to be outside, which is just, it's a win-win-win.
It is. It covers a multitude of things.
Yeah.
Well, very good. Very good. Um, I've been continuing with my morning meditations. Uh, I've thought often about putting pen to paper in my journal, but I haven't done it.
I've been journaling a lot lately.
Mm-hmm. I need to get in my journal because I have 1,003 things I wanted to journal about, but I haven't done so. So I need to do that. Yes. But anyway, do you want to tell everybody what we're talking about tonight, or do you want me to introduce it?
I'll introduce it. Tonight we're going to be discussing forgiveness and the importance of forgiving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if I had a subtopic, it would just be let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. But we always talk about forgiveness, and I guess I want to start with what forgiveness is versus what forgiveness is not.
Your eyeshadow is really pretty. So I know
You like
it's
it?
very pretty.
Well, thank you. I was playing in makeup today.
Yeah.
And so I gave myself, and I know you all didn't want to hear all this, but you get it anyway. It's a freebie. But I felt like creating the sunrise or sunset.
I've done that look before. It's been a while though.
Mm-hmm. And if you'll notice, I have the same sunset
On
going
your
on my lips
I did
as I have
notice.
on my eyes.
I did notice.
Yeah, so I was playing with it. I saw someone had posted one and it inspired me because I used to love wearing it. And haven't done it in a while. I haven't done a whole lot with my eyes
I
lately.
haven't either. It's depressing.
Mm-hmm. But I decided to give it a try. So it was fun. Took a little bit longer than I gotten where I spend on my makeup, but it was fun. And before I let the day wear it off, it was prettier, I think, than it is right now. But thank you anyway. But so we were talking about what is forgiveness. How would you define forgiveness? Or what do you think forgiveness is, rather?
I would say when you reach a place where you don't harbor any resentment.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I would say that's forgiveness.
Okay. That's a good way to look at it. And it is like, a state of mind,
Yeah.
sort of. I think it can be difficult, let me say, not to harbor any resentment.
Yeah.
But I think for most of us, forgiveness would be enough to just, kind of like I said earlier, let it go. Take some of the heat out of the resentment that you have, so that you're not actively engaged in it. Even, I think of it almost as separating yourself from any emotion related to it. Because actively being angry or holding a grudge can be very taxing, very consuming.
Yeah.
But just letting it go is when, at least you may still not have a high regard for the person you're upset with, but you're just not actively involved in day-to-day thinking about how much you don't like them or how much you resent them or how much they hurt you. You're just almost set it aside, let it go. And they were talking about what forgiveness doesn't mean. It does not mean that you have condoned what a person did to you, or that you think that they weren't wrong. You're not excusing what they did and saying it's okay that they did it to you. You are not necessarily even forgetting it, although I would say if you're keeping it in front of your head, then you haven't really forgiven. Because if it's consuming too much of your time and space, you're still holding on to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it doesn't even mean reconciling with that person. You may determine that after this, I want to handle this person or keep them at an arm's length. So forgiveness doesn't mean that you're, bring them back into the fold.
Yeah.
But it's just that you're no longer putting your energy into actively carrying on anger and actively carrying out that resentment. You may just say, this isn't someone that I can trust or that I can hold too close to me. I have to keep them at arm's distance away. But you're just not actively engaged in being angry with them.
Yeah.
Because they're just not worth it. I hate it when I'm angry with someone.
Me too.
It is such a terrible feeling for me.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I can get where it takes away my energy physically when I'm angry with somebody. Like I can feel it weakening me.
Yeah. And I got to the point where I was just, adult to adult, just confronting you about this bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And we're just going to talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like to let stuff sit because I have this really big thing against resentment. I've watched it destroy relationships before that I've had. We just have to talk about it.
Right.
If something happens, we need to address it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Calmly. And after I've taken some time away from the situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I need some time to not come at it from an angry or upset perspective.
Right. Right. I mean, you can be more objective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I need that.
Not in that moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, don't go to sleep mad at people. I might go to sleep mad. And then I'm going to come back ready to talk.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And come to... And this is only with relationships where you can have that kind of working... I understand every relationship's not like that. But fortunately for me, a lot of mine are like that.
Mm-hmm.
So if somebody upsets me, I know I can go to them and just... We can talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
And that has helped me tremendously.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Yes, that is very good. And then I feel that way too with the relationships that I can't go and have that conversation with. That's generally not a relationship that I'm much invested in.
Yeah.
Not very invested in anyway.
Yeah.
And I don't really have any concern about whether we are good or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so sometimes, forgiveness means just taking a few minutes, stepping back, and let's let the heat out of the situation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't like to, I guess, argue with people. Having a discussion is one thing, but like having like an argument like with anger and all that kind of stuff, I can't remember the last time I did that. I don't enjoy doing that.
Right, right. And I'm that way too. I don't like to argue with a person. I like, if we can have a discussion, that's good. And most of the time, I can have that adult discussion with someone.
Yeah.
Or either they don't matter enough to me that I have to have that conversation.
Honestly, if I can't have that type of conversation, that's it.
Right.
That's it.
Well, that is true. But I've always heard it said that carrying a grudge or being angry with someone is like taking poison yourself and expecting it to hurt that other person.
Yeah.
Really, as long as you're angry, it is just hurting you.
Yeah.
And not the person that your emotion is directed towards.
Yeah. And I think whenever you allow some outside thing to make you that upset, that's taking too much control. That's giving them way too much power.
Right.
Over your life and mindset and circumstances and even your health. Being that angry for so long is not good.
Right.
It's not good.
It's not. It's like something I posted yesterday, I think it was, about the opposite side of it. Happiness is an inside job.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically it is saying that you are in control of yourself. You're not giving control of your happiness over to someone else.
Yeah, my favorite word, control.
I think both of us are
Yeah,
kind of control people.
yeah,
Like to be quote unquote in control as much as we can
yeah,
of ourselves,
yeah.
not of other people.
I don't control any other people, but like my circumstances, I need to be in control.
Yeah. All right. But forgiveness. So why does it matter to self-care? Why does it matter? Because there are a lot of negative things that we draw to ourselves or that we hold on to when we're holding on to unforgiveness.
Yeah,
Okay, so let's talk about that just a little bit. Holding on to anger and unforgiveness can have a lot of negative impacts when it comes to your personal health and your own physical well-being, your physical and mental well-being. Okay, starting with mental health. Holding a grudge rather, increases your chances of experiencing anxiety. Yeah, it just turns that up a notch. It increases your chances of experiencing depression and other mental health conditions. So, being angry with someone, carrying a grudge, harms your own personal mental health. And again, is someone else worth your mental well-being? It's something you have to ask yourself. If I'm holding on to this anger or this grudge at the risk of my own mental health, my own mental well-being, is it worth it? Am I paying too high a price? Sometimes we can be so caught in being right that we can't let it go. So is being right, and you may still be right, but is it worth you holding on to the anger
yeah,
and in engaging in all the energy that it takes? Mental health, goodness. I'm destroying language today. Holding on to grudges can increase your stress levels as well as bothering your mental health. So it causes you to be more stressed. And of course, last week we talked about some of the negative impacts of stress,
yeah,
including higher blood pressure, ultimately heart problems, reduced immune health, and even inflammation within the body. So stress can cause all of those things, and stress can be increased by holding on to grudges and anger. So again, is it worth the physical problems that it's causing you to hold on to your unforgiveness?
yeah.
Yeah. Stress can also, not stress, joys.
Holding on to grudges.
Holding on to grudges, anger, can disrupt your digestion.
Yeah,
Did you know that?
yeah,
Yeah. Because it makes a lot of people, experience heartburn.
yeah,
But it causes the body to activate its central
sympathetic.
sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah,
Turns on that fight or flight response, and so it can have a negative impact on your digestion. It can disrupt it, because when you're in that fight or flight stage, your digestion is disrupted. Okay. Holding on to anger and stress can cause you to have headaches, chronic headaches. And I know for myself, whenever I get just really angry, it will cause me to have a headache. Do you ever have that?
yeah. I haven't in a while,
Mm-hmm.
but I have.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just have a headache, and is it worth it? Holding on to anger and unforgiveness
Isn't this a touchscreen?
can cause you. It is.
Okay.
Can cause you to be irritable. So, and then the irritability can manifest itself in continuous anger, grouchiness, depression, or outburst, even raging outburst. So there are so many negative things that can come from not forgiving or for holding on to anger, that again you have to ask yourself, is it really worth it?
Yeah.
Is this person that I'm upset with, are they worth all of the impacts?
Or not even a person, just like
Right,
a certain
or
situation.
True. Yeah, true. And I'm glad you brought that out, because a lot of times we are upset about situations and circumstances.
That's usually me. I'm very rarely disappointed, like upset with somebody. It's usually a situation, and I've always been that way. I feel like
Yeah, you do get upset about situations.
situations. They'd be like, "Who are you mad at?" I'm like, "Nobody. It's the situation. It's making me upset."
Yeah, we've had that conversation many times, I feel like, over the years.
Yeah.
But yeah, so circumstances or situations, and then you really have to ask yourself, is it worthwhile?
Yeah.
Is it worth it? Sometimes you can change a situation,
Yeah.
and you have to be willing to invest in changing that situation.
Yeah.
And then there are some situations that you cannot change.
Control.
And so you have to be willing to say, it's okay. So instead of trying to control the situation or change that situation, you have to change your response to it,
Yes.
because you can't change it.
Yeah.
And so all of that plays into your ability to forgive or not actively carry around that anger.
Yeah.
Yeah, just think, all right, what can I do about this? If I can do nothing, how can I change my response to it? And that's really a great question, even when you're dealing with another person.
Yeah.
What can I do to change this? If I can't change it, how can I change me
Yeah.
and how I respond to it?
Yeah. Just control what you can control. Yeah. I was gonna give a little anecdote.
Go ahead, please do.
So, when it comes to holding grudges, I don't even know necessarily if this is, well, I guess it is a grudge. So, a couple years ago, I went through like this huge season, I guess, of anger. So, it was like ruminating kind of thoughts of just things that would really upset me. I feel like we discussed this.
We probably did.
We definitely did. So it was these ruminating thoughts that would just be throughout the day. It was because I just couldn't let the situation go. I think I was like 23, 24, and even some when I was 25, but not that bad. But I was 25. I kind of overcome by that point. But it was like constant. And at first, it was just while I was at work. And it got to where, okay, so I need to wear an earbud, because if I wear an earbud, it'll distract me from my thoughts. Because I just couldn't turn it off. I was so angry for so long over this situation. So, and again, I couldn't change it. I was just so upset about that situation. So I would put in an earbud at work. Wasn't supposed to do that. But I needed something to distract me from the thought. Because it had that much control at that point. And so then it went from, oh, well, I just need this at work to, well, I need it when I'm at home too, because I really just need something to distract me. And then it was like, well, at least I get to go to sleep and I'll get away from the thoughts then. And then I started having dreams about the situation. And so it became 24 hours a day of just irritation.
Wow.
Do you have any idea how horrible that was?
I know we talked about it repeatedly.
Yeah, because it was such a consuming thing for me. It was horrible. But I really feel like I reached, for the most part, a point of like, let it go. And that's just the reaction that I've changed. That's the part of me that I've changed. Just, I couldn't change situations, so I'm just going to let it go. So that's my personal story with that. Like, it got bad. Like, at one point, because I wear like my Apple Watch. I don't have it on right now, and it keeps track of my heart rate. But it would upset me so much that I would be sitting still and my heart rate would be at like 120.
Wow.
Because I was just so upset. And it was on the daily. And I was like, we're going to have to fix this. Because this is like a health problem at this point. So, fortunately, we came back from that. But that's just my personal experience with not forgiving and just letting stuff go. It's awful.
Yeah.
Don't do that.
And that's a perfect example, because you can't walk around with your resting heart rate
At
at
120.
120 beats per minute.
Yeah.
It is deadly
I was
dangerous.
sitting still and I was like, my heart rate is 120.
Yes.
114 if I was lucky.
Well, I'm glad you've gotten beyond that.
Yeah.
And you let it go. So, but anyway, so for whomever this touches or applies to, if you have some grudges that you're holding on to, some unresolved anger, remember, you're not hurting the person or the situation, you're hurting you. You deserve peace. You deserve happiness. You deserve to be living stress-free.
Yeah.
And whatever you're holding on to is at the same time holding on to you.
Yeah.
So, the only way it's not going to hold on to you is if you make that decision to let it go. And it doesn't mean you condone what has happened, or that you excuse it, or that you even forget it. But it's that you are not going to allow it to actively hurt you and destroy your quality of life any further.
Yeah.
So that's our word for today. Let it go. The unforgiveness is killing you. And you don't deserve that. You deserve so much better than that, right?
You do.
Absolutely. Very good. Well, we will not take up any more of your time today. We're just going to remind you one more time, let it go. And do something else this week besides let it go to practice self-care.
Go do some yoga.
Yes, some yoga. Or exercise. When you're angry, a lot of times, physical exercise or yoga or meditation, all of those things help bring you back to a calm place. And they can lower that heart rate, they can lower that stress level, and they can make you feel better and get you to a place where you can have the quality of life you deserve.
Yeah. Also, one more thing before I shut up, because we're almost at 25 minutes. So, I've come to a conclusion, and it might not be true, but this is just how I feel. Anger does not always need to be expressed, but it does need to be explored. So it's like a flag that something is wrong. So whenever I feel anger, there's something I need to address. But it doesn't necessarily need to be expressed like in this big explosive way, if that makes any sense.
That's wonderful. I love that. Say that again.
Anger doesn't always need to be expressed, but it does need to be explored.
So you explore what is going on that's
Yeah.
making you this angry.
Yeah.
Even though I may not act out
Yeah.
and express it, but I will explore it.
Yeah, I was writing in my journal about anger the other day, actually, and that came out, and I was like, I like that quote.
That's wonderful. I love that. I love that. So enlightened. Well, very well. Well, we are finished for tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you for subscribing. We've noticed a few more subscriptions. We've noticed a few more comments. Thank you. We hope that you will share it with a friend. Tell a friend about it. Share a clip from it with a friend. And we will see you again next week. But in the meantime, take some time for yourself. Why?
Because you deserve it.
You absolutely do. Good night.
Good night.